anniversary celebration of Fluid Power Society of India. Fluid Power Society of India, as most of you, at least the members who are sitting over here, as you know, it was started on 14th November 1973. So since 14th, we had a festival, Diwali, so we tried to make it to the weekend. There's not going to be any formal program or anything. It's just an informal get-together. So we will be starting with lighting the lamp with the oldest members of the council. So I would like to call Dr. B.V. Rao. Please come, sir. Dr. Singh MSR. Sorry. Mr. Sitapati Rao. Dr. Prasanna Kumar and Mr. D.V. Krishnan.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought I'm the youngest.
Yeah, you are the youngest among the lot.
Sometimes gold has advantages.
Doesn't want to accept he's old.
Doctor, please come.
Good you, sir. I can help you.
A lot of people are really but I want to...
No, please. I will be cutting a cake now. Dr. B.V. Rao, please.
Clap. Sir, come close. Sir, come close.
Sir, MSR, sir.
Come close. Bani, sir, close, sir. Come close. Look, sir.
Thank you very much. The next event would be about the reminiscence by all the senior members. I think we will. No, we will be actually distributing that along with the meal. It will be kept at the buffet. So,
Some will be.
Esteemed friends,
Mike, sir.
colleagues,
Mike,
ladies,
Sir, Mike.
yeah. So we all met on this occasion of celebrating 50 years of FPSI. 50 years of existence of Fluid Power Society. Although I was at IIT Madras at that time, the FPSI started in Bengaluru. Then I became a member. I remember one person, Yoga Narsim, we all remember, who did a great contribution to the growth of this association for a long time. Was instrumental in bringing me also here. That coincided with my developing a 50-ton, 1,000-ton hydraulic shaker for the ISRO for consolidating the solid propellants, which became a very successful feat. Not only that, I gave it to the many other, including the Institute for Aviation Medicine and all that, for shaking the pilots and all. So that was my contribution to the first fluid power perhaps in the country. Instead of getting it from imported, we built it ourselves. So that's what made me to take greater interest in the fluid power. So my areas were always mission dynamics, all dynamic problems and other things in vibration and sound, essential acoustics, noise control, tribology, which are all very important to me. This one. I'm just coming from another 2-day conference we had at Institute of Engineers Auditorium. Surprised, you'll find the society itself is called Vibration Society. And then they managed by only high industries in Bombay. There's not a single academician in that group. I was surprised. And I also would not have got it. But because I was at IIP, Indian Institute of Plant Engineers, because in 70s I was a fellow founder member. So IIP wanted to put a stall. So that's how I got information through IIP and we went. Yesterday it was inaugurated by none other than the ISRO chairman. What's his name? Somnath. So I also presented him by some of my books on vibration and sound. And surprisingly, I find that he is doing his PhD under Narayan, Professor Narayan at IIT Madras, who is my great colleague there. So, even Suresh, who was the earlier chairman, was my student and he has heard my vibration lectures. So now, I asked, why your Institute of Science itself about 3 or 4 vibration specialists? You are not invited anybody. Sorry, we are not invited you also. No, come from this one, that's all. The thing is, now we realize that all engineers who are dealing with machinery must have full knowledge of vibration and noise. Because every machine makes vibration and consequent noise. Oil gets discolored fast. So now what is in the human system? What are we doing? In the ECG and the blood report, urine report, based on that, the doctor is able to do it. The same vibration, same noise level, the oil constituents, helps you to diagnose this. So every engineer, whether he is civil, or etc., should have a basic knowledge of this, like a medical expert, etc. That's how we see the IIT Madras, but we are fortunate to have people like Singapore, Prasanna Kumar and all that who are all there. So all of us, we were interested only in how to improve our industry conditions so that we will be self-sufficient to develop things, etc. If ISRO has done quite a lot, there was this way, they helped a lot. Many of they associated with many institutions, etc., and saw that those things are developed. Abdul Kalam used to sit and next I want this, I want an angular motion simulator. We developed it for them to simulate satellites. On a 10-inch stainless steel ball, a platform was 6 degrees of freedom, and then you study the satellite motion. And he wanted to develop, tested SLV3 for 180 to 200 decibels. We had not even heard of such a thing. You can't hear more than 120, 140. So quite a damning thing. Not knowing the risk of those things, we tested the SLV3 satisfactorily before it was launched. So that is the one. Then later, when Abdul Kalam was in Hyderabad's defense side, he wanted a missile testing. He was also in charge of the missiles at that time, etc. A missile testing machine costed from France an exorbitant price. They wanted to develop it in India itself. we developed the missile test rig by taking a 50 kilowatt DC motor from Kirloskar and then a rotating disc from the forge aluminum wheel, etc. Running at 18,000 RPM. The tip speed itself was more than solid. Something like a flying saucer. It had happened also. Some bishops also has happened like that. So we have done a lot of this type of thing, and that part is an invention award. So why I am reminding about this all, the creation of the fluid power, the creation of the vibration and other acoustic power. I was the president of the Fluid Power Society, that acoustic society, in plant engineers. Throughout the 3 postgraduate students I started at IIT Madras was first vision dynamics, vibration and sound. In 1971, in 73, the industrial tribology, the friction wear and lubrication problems. The third one was the maintenance engineering and management. These are all unheard of as academicians, etc. Everything to support our Indian industry. That was the main thing. And yesterday I only said, I am highly satisfied that the industry has realized the importance of this subject today. A society they have created on their own, not inviting any academicians. They themselves would give importance to this. And they are going to be an honorary fellow of the society today. So, I am just telling the same thing has happened with the Fluid Power Society here, under the leadership of Sita Patrao and Yoga Narasimha and many of the So all these things I've seen. I myself conducted 2 or 3 conferences. I still remember about it and how we did all that thing, etc. Later on I went into many other areas and all that. Perhaps I could not do much to the Fluid Power Society here, although this one. But my people are all everywhere there. Look for, I have 24 PhDs at credit, so they are all spread in different areas and working. I am so happy. I just passed my 90s on the March, so running the 1991. So at this age, I am very happy to participate in this 50-year celebrations, the Golden Jubilee of the Fluid Power Society. And I wish all these people who are the creators of this society and the people now who are all serving this one, take it to much greater heights and usefulness to the country. Thank you very much.
To give me the opportunity. It so happens that one who has introduced me to Fluid Power Society and nurtured me to become a member is here. Dr. B.V. I shifted around 1982 and joined L&T from IIT Chennai. And after attending one of the meetings, he called me and said, Professor Kumar, why don't you become a member and active? I don't know, I made a mistake. I did not know what is active. I am now more active and super active. I don't know how to stop it. I think the way in which he told about his experience, I don't know whether I will stop it or not. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I have to thank the ladies first here. And they have to thank me also. First we will see why they have to thank me. Because I am giving them nice time, 45 minutes with their husbands here. Otherwise they won't see them. That's why I told Suresh Khan, at least train your better half to be a driver so that at least 1.5 hours, she can be with you. But it is a nice thing, see, because we are all from L&T. So I am from L&T and some of them are L&T, Gopal is here and so on. We are used to at least periodic functions where the ladies are present. It adds value, it adds some responsibility. They will be always thinking, what is it, this man, fluid power, goes hydraulics, and they know about hydraulics only one, what they see in the house. But they have not imagined that other part of hydraulics, what they do it in the factory as well as in the society, is a very powerful tool, fluid power. So that way, I am very happy that the ladies joined, and this is a very colorful function I will remember for my life. And the first thing, really, what do you call, milestone for Fluid Power Society of India. When I went through, see, all happens, I will not take, please, somebody warn me after 8 minutes, then I will stop it. Otherwise, say for example, B.A. Rao and myself are all from IIT, and we are also Rotarians. And Rotarians, what they do, even if you give an ice cream cone in the hand, they will start talking, singing it to the mic. So I am a Rotarian as well as IITian. Be careful. So Naresh, please warn me. So what is happening is the supply and demand. See, for example, we are talking of Nehru era and other things. Nehru era, he set up all the laboratories, big laboratories, national laboratories, because there is a supply and demand. There was a demand, and for researchers to go on. That the fruitfulness of this we are realizing now after 50 years. Similarly, then another supply, there were no, it was no STEM learning at the time. So there were not enough people to go to the laboratory also. National laboratories were started with a very few people as research scholars. Then he started IITs, a supply chain was established. But unfortunately, at the time demand was not there. So all the IITians went abroad, where the demand is more. Why I am telling is, but in such cases where naturally when it occurs a supply and demand combination, Fluid Power Society has started. For example, when you start in the 1973-74, if I say who are all the people who are the council members, just read it out, then you can know yourself how it started. Dr. Anji HAL, Visweswaran CMTI, Gangobadhyaya HMT, Varute NAL, Varute about whom we are talking just now, Srinivas ADE, then Balakrishna NAL, then Venkatramaya CMTI, and then from our, this one from the private, from Janardhan Rao Belgian, Ravindran Vickers were very active from the day one, and then of course the IAC group, SN Rao and others. This is the demand and supply. At that time, all the what you call aircrafts or any other high equipment, value equipment imported were all containing hydraulics. It was around 1970s. So for servicing it or understanding it, they require more of hydraulic knowledge. So automatically all these people from NAL, HAL, IID and so on and so forth formed a society to make it bigger. And that is how, if you see the whole, I was going through our Fluid Power magazine from 1975 onwards. It was really entertaining. For example, if I say 75, 76, I think this year Giridhara. I don't know how many cylinders he made in his life. Giridhara, you are there now? Okay. Can you please write your, how many cylinders? Million?
Oh, maybe a few thousand. several thousands.
Yes. Any paper you take,
thanks to Mr. Sitapati Rao,
how it works and how it not work and other things. And another fashion for those things, nostalgia, is in the earlier years, when we had either monograph or conference, one of the best topics, Singapurman will laugh at it, leakages in hydraulic circuit. It is a famous one. For at least 10 years, it was from 1975, 78 to 88, it was ruling. If you are able to solve the problem by somewhere or other and stop the bloody leakage, that, sorry, was the language, that stop the leakage, then you are the best hydraulics gentleman.
Sir, there it was only theory. Now in practice also we are doing it. Continuously.
You have not yet come out of that circle. That is the problem. So that is the way it is going on. Then you see that the earlier years, how they were working. For example, I will tell you one or two instances. For example, the 1975, 73 started and 74. 75 they had an All India seminar. 76, 78 they had an All India exhibition. That is the way it grew. It is not simply like that. You can see those photographs, I don't know, perhaps during the dinner time it will show. the amount of sincerity they did. For example, when I was also president and other things at the time, exhibition was done. I name it, what is it? It's not here unfortunately. Both of them, one is upstairs, one is in US. Ramakanta Murthy and Yoga Narasimha. We had an exhibition. I was a president. It was going on in Bengaluru at one particular place. 3 a.m. Ramakanta Murthy was at the site to see, because the evening was rained. Then he wanted to know whether in stores any water has come or not. So you had to see that our fellows who are exhibiting there should not have any member should not have any problem. He was there. And then I got a call from 6 o'clock from yoga. I told him I am in RT Nagar, so I will come. No. I am going to office. I will go through the place. I will see what is happening. Yoga went there and saw. That is the spirit of the people who are there doing the job that made us today what we are. We have to really thank them. And there are a lot of other people. For example, he is staring at me, Mr. Krishnan. The amount of hydraulics I learned from him, I cannot tell, because if it is bad, then his name will be spoiled. But he taught me a lot. I was a purchase manager and he was the supplier. And I learned a lot of hydraulics from him. I hope I am correct. So that is the way it went on. The 1975, 76, 78, 82. 82 I came from IIT, as you told. Then we had, for example, you will not be doing that. We had Ashoka exhibition. Do you know where we had a conference? On this side of the golf club we had exhibition. And then after seeing that, we used to run as a group, 4 or 5 fellows, to the other hotel on the other side of the golf club. What is the hotel? Holiday. And there the basement, the seminar is going on. This is the spirit in which we all work. And we made it as what it is today. But I will stop it. He is not. I think he is also absorbed. Just like what has happened over the years, then the whole ADE, HAL, NAL, everything gone. Then over a period of time, the Bosch-Rexroth or World Oil or Dynamatic was the first, what do you call journal, 1975 journal. The first advertisement was there from Dynamatic Technologies for the Doughty pump, same correct. It was there. So there also 50 years. So actually sometime back, about 1 or 2 months back, I told all these people, but they didn't get up because they thought that it is not a big function. But I still appeal. For example, Bosch-Rexroth, 100 years. Other people, 75 years they are from Pune, the people. And there are people who have done, I am talking of the big companies which are members. 50 years they have done. What I want to do is, we must have at FPSI a sort of a story, weaving together. Why they entered? For example, if somebody has entered, for example, if it is Festo, it has entered because of the pneumatic and robotic and automation requirement. So what is required at the time in India? So if you see the India growth from 1973, 75 onwards, then if you map it, all these people who have come in here and then celebrating their glory 50 years, 25 years, will match together and we will have a very good Fluid Power Society of India's, we will say Jatakam, horoscope. That is the way we have to. And just to finish it in a few minutes. So we have to do that. And now what is the requirement? We have got already, there are 2-3 requirements. Third requirement is added after seeing the lady. The first requirement is, just like in the starting we had got all the, like in air, when the public sector renting, we were always having that in the last few years, but over a period of time it has come down. But after the present government saying that Atmanirbhar or whatever it is, the indigenization has gone up. And I was myself involved in one of the inspection bodies, along with DRDO. We were inspecting about 52 locations of DRDO all over India for their effort. So that is the way. We have to see that we bring back those people also in our fold and work with them. Dr. Sati is one of the doctor who did that servo-hydraulic one for the so-called fighter jet. He was also with us. He is one of the life members. remembering servo hydraulics. The first paper is the 1875 Fluid Power Journal, and from HAL is how to service the servo hydraulic circuit that they got along with the aircraft. And I don't know whether I have to say very proudly or not, after 50 years we are doing the same even now. No, what I am telling is, now that Atmanirbhar is there, a lot of DRDO people, I have myself talked to them, they need guidance for the smaller fellows down the line, and we can provide it. And there will be again another demand supply one, and I hope that within another few years, we will have a Fluid Power Society of India bubbling with the public sector, private sector units, as well as our own academic share. The first is public sector included. Second is, we must have academicians. We want to have think tanks. For example, I want to have about 10 or 15 names. Say, for example, first name, Professor Singaperumal. Ask him anything, and either from starting from mechatronics or anything you ask him. He must be in our this one. Such a list we have to create all over India so that we will know who are the people who can guide us. It is not a question of one paper we are submitting, we are not. There are people who are think tanks. It is not necessary they have to submit papers, but they can guide you and then do it. For example, I have met a couple of professors in Institute of Science also, because I am ex-student. I have met them almost once 2 months or something like that. And we are having alumni association on 1st December. We will be also having a group there. So that is the second. Third is, after meeting the ladies, at least thrice a year, we will have a meeting along with our spouses and other people. Thank you, gentlemen.
Dr. Prasanna Kumar, he wanted me to stop at 8 minutes, but he got 2, slots there, because he is also the advisor for FPSI for the last 5 years. I would request Dr. Singaperumal to say something.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, congratulations to the Fluid Power Society of India on its Golden Jubilee celebrations. May not be too much for you. Say the third IITian who has come here standing before you to talk about the Fluid Power Society. I started the fluid power activities possibly way back in 1976 when I went to Germany on the DAAD scholarship, and it so happened that there was an institute in Technical University Hanover where at that time they had this big problem of kids with the hands gone, because that's what they call the sedative in cases. So in that they were trying to design an upper arm prosthesis. You know what they used at that time? It is 2 axial piston pumps driven by a DC motor, which was driving the 2 joints, one shoulder joint and one joint here, and of course the electric arm was fitted here. So at that time I got exposed to this fluid power in a great detail and worked on it. So after that, of course, when I came back to IIT, then we had a good group of people who wanted to establish more activities in fluid power. So we thought, why not we have a chapter? So the Madras chapter, it is still called as Madras chapter, not Chennai chapter they may be calling it. It's called Madras chapter, was started at that time, around 80s I think, if I'm not wrong. And surprisingly, we had good support from the headquarters at that time. It was, Sundareshan, I think, from Rexroth, and then Nagaraj from Moog Aerospace. So these two took great interest in starting the chapter at Madras. And of course, we got a lot of support from other industries. Main support we could get from the MSMEs in Chennai, that is number 2 industrial estate. So at that time itself we had already wrapped in the complete group of the small scale industries. And then of course, the other person who I want to tell is from Bengal, and also you can Mr. Rangacha. So these are the people who encouraged the start of the Fluid Power Society Madras chapter, and Madras chapter had been doing quite a bit, essentially from all these supports which we had. In fact, on the very first year of this one, we had a big conference, and at that time it's called Chola Sheraton, and then we also had another one in the exhibition grounds, where we had a support from the DRDO at that time itself, and we got the Arjun tag being displayed there at that point. So this is what I say, what to say is that if we get support from this, academicians definitely will do what you want for the community. So that's how we were looking for support from the various industries, etc. And of course, I still remember as the secretary of the Madras chapter, the lot of discussions I had with Mr. Sitapati Rao on, I don't know, sharing of things between the two. So anyway, that's all now sorted out, that's all history. So that's one part of it. Then having gone into the fluid power field, then I learned that quite a bit, that there are several technologies that are still not explored completely. Like for example, during my one of the visits to Germany, we thought, why not look at deep sea mining? 6,000 meters down the sea. Going up is one thing, going down is another one. So the problems associated with it. And finally, of course, NIOT at Madras got a project sanction for looking at a hydraulically driven vehicle which moves over the seabed at 6,000 meters depth. So essentially it is the hyperbaric chamber that was required to test all these components at 6,000 PSI, 6,000 bar ambient pressure. So that's one thing which I learned the course of the thing. So every day there is something new to learn. Now of course there is more disruptive technology that is coming in, like the 3D printing, which I also was having some discussion there. People are trying it everywhere and it's going on. All these things, Fluid Power Society's involvement in some of these things, or meeting the industry people, or having seminars, exhibitions, etc. has been there. Many of the sectors Fluid Power Society has touched, but only thing what I see is there is still a shortfall in the Fluid Power Society addressing the education sector. So education sector, why I am telling is, with these new disruptive technologies that are coming, there is more inputs that are required from the education sector, as also the basic people whom you want have to be trained. In fact, I had read one of those VDMA reports which says that even in Germany they are finding very difficult to get trained fluid power engineers. Basically because all those universities which are working in the fluid power field, those professors have retired and there is no replacement, so the entire, that is the German practice, when once a professor retires, his complete lab is removed. So the fluid power activity has come down drastically and they have a shortfall for this. So this human resource building in fluid power is very essential. This I also feel whenever I visit the DRDO. They have a lot of problems. There is plenty of scope for venturing into a lot of activities. We have to be self-sufficient, whether it is military or whatever it is. So there is a scope, and every time they come up with saying that we want this component being made in India, we are not getting it. So what is the solution? So that's where we have to dive more into essentially the education sector, where the Fluid Power Society has to put its foot more firmly and then say how exactly we can meet this challenge. There are several options that are available which I have discussed at various instances. So that's one of the things which I thought I should express in this form also. And of course, as a beneficiary of the Fluid Power Society, now I have a lot of contact with various industries. That's one thing. And if I ask anything which I want from an industry, I do get it. I do get the help. That's not a problem for me. So same thing with the institution also, I get that support. So if I want some sponsorship for any small activity, I do get it. That was what we were doing it in IIT Madras, and there is no problem at all in that. So that's one thing which I gained, and of course the other knowledge from the industry, which also I get. In fact, this knowledge from the industry is a very funny thing. There are silly things which essentially people in the field don't understand. If I remember correctly, there was a big project one industry has taken in Madurai. So he was trying to cut the trees which are used for fuel. And he said, every day I'm losing 2-3 barrels of oil because of leakage. As he said, it's leakage. So why is the leakage coming? So he changed the hose, he changed everything, and then finally he decided to call me. So I went and asked him. So he has got the American Bobcat, and then it's a Canadian machine, and they were trying to put the hoses into this American machine. Unfortunately, they said that there is a taper, so we just use one thing which is they never understood that there is an SCE taper, and that's what was the problem. So they go to Coimbatore or somewhere, get something which has got some taper, and then try to tighten it. It leaks, starts leaking after some time. They go on tightening it, it is worse. So this is where the knowledge sharing is not there. Another thing, silly thing, it's again in IIT Madras itself, what I experienced is, it's a big company, mind you. It's a system builder for fatigue test machine. Fatigue test machine. So there is a cooling system which is put there, and they had connected it. It was air-cooled thing. So the 2 air coolers were connected to the hydraulic system, and every time they switch it on, the system was not working. It was going, oil was getting heated, and it was going back. What is the problem? Nobody looked at the instruction manual. Simple thing is, instead of connecting it in series, they are connected in parallel. So this is the problem, because it is easier to do it in piping. So these are all small things which, I don't know where you learn it. So it's only by practice. Vibration, another problem. The same machine, the emergency switch was coming out loose because of a vibration. So, in fact, they said, oh, it's going off. So what do we do? So finally I said, you tighten that, you will get it. So this is how things come. I mean, not that I did learn vibration from him, I did learn typology from him, but that is not the thing. But you see it, this is what happens. So finally, so there are several things which you don't learn it at school, but you learn it through contacts. You learn it, you come to know it from these things. So finally, I just want to say thank you very much for all the things what people have been telling me. I may deserve it, I may not deserve it, that's a different thing. But what I want to still emphasize is that the education sector has to be more or less supported very much from all the industrial members who are here in the Fluid Power Society. Thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to request our own MSR, as we call him, Mr. M. Sitapati Rao. He is the longest serving president for almost 10 years into separate tenures, and he is the longest serving member of the council for the last 46 years, and still.
Let me take you through some memories of how we started off with the Fluid Power Society of India. My first experience or introduction to Fluid Power Society of India was a deliberate search for a research institute in fluid power. That was just about the time we started Wipro. It was started in Bombay, and we decided to come to Bengaluru for putting up a plant. And we were looking for people, because fluid power was not a known topic, but we decided to start making hydraulic cylinders. That itself is a story, how we started doing that. But we had decided, for good or bad, that we'll have the plant entirely with indigenously designed manufactured products. We will not go for technical collaboration. So that's a story by itself. So having done that, we came to Bangalore. Before that, I wanted to have a team built up. The first person I wanted to build up this team with was a design person. So I searched the whole country. I said, where do I get a hydraulic designer from? I zeroed in on Tatas. They were doing some work on that in Pune. There is what's called machine tool division. And there is a bloke sitting there, Giridhara. We zeroed in on Giridhara. We said, I must get this man to Bangalore. How do I put a person from Tatas to Wipro, which was at that time Western India Vegetable Products Limited, to a vegetable product company? I spoke to him. I know that every Bangalorean has a weakness. He wants to come back to Bangalore. He wants to eat his masala dosa. I said, Banbidi pani mat keda. Banbidi, Bengaluru, Banbidi. He came. So he was our first designer in Wipro. If present day Wipro people see old drawings approved by C.R. Giridhara, still C.R. Giridhara, thank you very much for where you are taking us.
Thank you.
So that's how we started. Then after coming to Bangalore, we wanted to have a research institute to support us. So I went around, went to CMTI. There met Yoga Narasimha, Venkatramaya, these people. So that's how the contact. From then on, I've been involved in the Fluid Power Society. It has been a long journey. Many things have happened. So as the evolution happened, the Fluid Power Society of India was a technical oriented organization. The idea was to train people in fluid power, to tell people what fluid power is, how to maintain products, because we hardly made anything except Vickers were making a few products there. That's how it started. So it is a technology oriented organization, and that is so for many years. Our exhibitions were technically oriented, our grouping was technology, and our focus was on individual members. So we had a categorization of members, an associate member, a member, a senior member, and various things. And that's how we started for many years. That's how we operated. Subsequently, we got into exhibitions, seminars, where we started getting something from industry. And we started using industry as a base. So the company started growing. Wipro was growing well. We got into leadership position in hydraulic cylinders. And we took a lot of active interest in Fluid Power Society of India activities. And we started having companies getting into the picture. Much later, pretty recently actually, we changed the emphasis. Now, last 3 years, we've changed the emphasis of Fluid Power Society from an individual-oriented activity to a company-oriented activity. The change of thinking has been that the companies, manufacturers, researchers must contribute a great deal to the fluid power technology, thereby also supporting the individuals. So we have changed the order, reversed the order in which. So now we are working more with the companies, and we want to get companies together. We want to do something for the overall benefit of the fluid power technology in India, fluid power companies in India. One of the objectives we had a couple of years ago was that, we ranked all the manufacturers of fluid power companies in the world, or fluid power technology-based companies in the world, and we found that India was at the 7th place or something. We said, can we take it to the 5th place? And it did go to the 5th place last year. And we're now saying that can we take it to the 3rd place? So our focus now in Fluid Power Society of India is to make fluid power a major source of activity in the country, major research center, major exports, major manufacturing. So a considerable amount of work is going on in this area. The individuals will get a benefit as a result. So this has been a great transition of the Fluid Power Society, fluid power technology in India. We've been growing with the technology, and we've been ahead. And fortunately, Wipro remains. I was fortunate to work with that. The biggest multinational company in the fluid power business in India, the Indian multinational. Most other companies are global. Wipro is an Indian company. That's been something very greatly proud to be on. So that's what it is. And we are on to something big, and the FPSI will be much bigger in the years to come. There will be more industry activity, there will be more research, and Dr. Prasanna Kumar is working on a theme to start a national laboratory research center. We're all working towards that. So we're going to have a national laboratory, we're going to have industry activities, we're going to have a lot of export effort. So we will take, I'm very confident, fluid power industry in India to third position in the world very soon. Thank you, that's it.
Thank you very much, sir. I think the next senior most, though DVK, he wants to feel young, but he's from the older lot, I would say.
Thank you, Mr. Naresh. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, I am in the field of hydraulics, and happened to join Vickers in the year 79, and since then I continue to be in 77 rather, continue to be in hydraulics. And definitely Fluid Power Society has given us a lot of importance to improve our activities and finding out the requirements from the field, customers, and we are able to go about meeting all that. And earlier, I remember that in the year 81, from a level of council member, I became a joint secretary and worked with Ramchandran. He was the secretary. And then I could, after 2 years, he couldn't continue because of his shifting into Bombay. And I took this position and then came into the position of secretary, Fluid Power Society. And I recollect that we conducted an exhibition and seminar, as pointed out by Dr. Prasanna Kumar in Bengaluru. It was the third All India exhibition and seminar. And we had a lot of problems finding out the place, and we went through difficulties even in who will be invited to be the chief guest, who will inaugurate all that happened. And that time the president of the society was Mr. Amparao. He was the director of machine tools, HMT. So a lot of thoughts were there, and finally things shaped up well. And these days I find enormous amount of activities are going on from Fluid Power Society. Those days even getting people for joining us for a council meeting was difficult because traveling, people are not easily available. But from that level, when I look at it these days, how much society has advanced and having their own office. I mean, they are owning a building, I mean not building, a space there, and having large number of members, industrial members, and with that support, and people are there, especially Mr. Hemant Kumar as president, of course Mr. Sitapti Rao, he has been contributing a lot, I know. So I'm definitely sure this society will grow further, and there will be a lot of opportunity for meeting bigger challenges, and everything will happen in our days. I wish the society a great success in the coming days, and we will work for achieving those things as expected. Thank you.
I would like to request Mr. Gopal former Vice President, FPSI. We will start with 2 more people, so please bear with us.
Good evening to everyone. Thank you very much, Naresh, for inviting me. I have actually played both active and passive role. So I was wondering why you invited me. The only manner in which I continue to be active is at least come for your annual meetings. I'm very passionate about hydraulics. When L&T started its own captive hydraulic plant in 1981, I am one of the founder members of that. Right from the time the foundation stone was laid and the hydraulic plant came up, I've been there and done that. So my passion for hydraulic continues, even though thereafter I moved into roles which were more at the macro level of running a construction equipment business, where I headed as Chief Executive of L&T Komatsu and so on. I always tell people that before I joined hydraulic plant, I worked in a tool room, one of the best tool rooms in the country, NTTF. And I used to think that's the ultimate in precision manufacturing. But when I came to hydraulic business and starting the startup of the hydraulic business of L&T, I found it is not enough if you just maintain dimensional control, which is the forte of tool and die making. You have to maintain, particularly if it's a valve or a pump, piston pump, you have to maintain size control to the tune of IT6, IT7 tolerance, surface finish, RT below 0.4, and form control. All the 3 are required, because thereafter, if any interchangeability of parts are required, all these 3 are paramount. Particularly when you have piston pump, there are no seals. It's only hydrostatic sealing in between. So all the 3 are very important. Besides that, the heat treatment and surface treatment. Now where else do you get? Where else do you get? In which other manufacturing? Be it gearbox, be it even engine, IC engines. You don't find a need for all these. Material properties, heat treatment, surface treatment, and all the 3 controls. Dimensional control, form control, and surface finish. It's an excellent, I think it's an art. People like us who are involved in the hydraulic business, I think we are all very privileged. It's an art. It's not just engineering. I'm sure Professor B.V. Rao and Singapore will bear with me. This is much more than engineering. It is an art. And number of people whom you can find having possessing expertise in this are very, very few, even in our own country. My appeal to all the youngsters here is to continue to preserve and make sure that this art form is not, because any amount of robotics, whatever comes, aerospace engineering, all these are paramount. You cannot, there is no shortcut for this. You need to have size control, you need to have form control, you need to have surface finish control. So this is irreplaceable. So my appeal to all the younger generation is, please preserve this. Number of people coming into manufacturing are reducing. Number of people coming into fluid power and hydraulic system component manufacturing are even lesser. Sheshnath is there, I'm sure he'll bear with me. Please preserve this. This is an art and it is not just engineering alone. Thank you so much for inviting. I take pleasure in congratulating the current team of Hemant Kumar and others who are taking. People like SPK, Dr. S. Prasanna Kumar is still very active. This makes me feel guilty. I think I should keep coming more often. Thank you very much. Good evening.
I would like to request Mr. Sheshnath, our past president.
Well, good evening to everybody, and firstly, thanks for attending today. It's been a pleasure, honor to be with all of you and renew our friendship. In fact, my association with the fluid power sector started off in a very funny way. You see, when we say hydraulics, it's not, fluid power is not just hydraulics, it's also pneumatics. But then in hydraulics, we deal only with very mundane fluids like VG65, VG45. and pneumatics. It's just simple compressed air, which is available everywhere. So I didn't start from there. It started off in a very nice way. I started experimenting with other fluids like Kingfisher and then Old Mock Rum. So I started experimenting with those kinds of fluids, and that finally brought me into the fluid power sector. So it's been a very interesting journey for me. Continues even now, of course. Anyway, I got associated with the Fluid Power Society way back in 2000 beginning, when I was working for Dynamatic Technologies, and my boss there at the time became the president of the Fluid Power Society. So I hang on to his coattails, and I also came on board. It's been a wonderful journey since then, both in terms of seeing the growth, new ideas which are coming in. We are not a very big society, but we have grown very well in terms of representation of people, in terms of new ideas. Fluid Power Society primarily looks at technical matters, not so much government lobbying and commercial work. We are brand agnostic. We don't promote any brands, whether it's Rexroth or Wipro or any other company. We are brand agnostic as a society. And every succeeding set of office bearers brings in wonderful new ideas. I'm sure Mr. Sitapaji Rao and Gopal and others, when they were the office bearers, they introduced a lot of very good thoughts and opinions and ideas. And every succeeding set of bearers have brought in, office bearers have brought in new ideas. And now we have a wonderfully dynamic team in the council, which are taking it to even bigger heights, as I mentioned. And I'm sure in the coming years we will see the fruition of Dr. SPK's pet dream of a National Fluid Power Research Institute. And we hope to get there in the next few years. And I'm sure it will happen as surely as all of us are present here. Thank you. Have an enjoyable evening.
Thank you, Mr. I request Mr. Hemant Kumar, President, to say a few words.
Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I should have said a warm welcome at the beginning, but still a big thank you for all of you who have made it, and a very special thanks to the spouses who could make it and bear with all our nostalgia and reminiscing our 50 years journey in Fluid Power Society. Big namaste to you all. Thank you so much. Where do I start? So 50 years of FPSI, and I think almost 50% of that I've been with FPSI. And the first, this one, because literally I was in a well, in L&T I was in a well, and so he was my boss, and he said, I'll push you into the well. So that's how my journey started. I didn't know actually working in an industry, what do I do outside the industry? And in fact, I had an idea that you work for an association or society, you will have to do a lot of technical work. And I realized that it is lots more and nothing about technical when you are working for a society. And I think I remember the days when for promoting, because those days the promotion, advertisement and all was at the infant stage, I remember Sheshnath and all spending nights together and pasting our advertisements at prominent, we used to decide this is the prominent location, on a tree or on some pole, and that was how it is, and we have grown a lot. And one great thing what I liked is, looking back, now I find that like some of, even the other day someone was saying, it's not that you give to society, but you also get back. So I have got a lot of things from the society, in the sense that I worked with some amazing leaders, visionaries I would say. If not for FPSI, I wouldn't have got this opportunity at all. In fact, many of them are in attendance today, starting with Dr. B.V. Rao, Dr. Singaparamal, Dr. Prasanna Kumar, Sitapati Rao, Gopal, Padmanabha, and Sheshnath, many, and of course the current council members, and even associating with people like Rangachar, and you don't get this opportunity. That's all I can say. That you learn a lot from them, and each one, I think, are role models in their own way. So it's been great, and you get great networking opportunities. And I always use this. Though the first three speakers were from IIT Madras, I don't know how much you all have leveraged IIT Madras, but I have leveraged IIT Madras in all my interactions in the industry circle. I say I know some of the top people in IIT Madras. So that's how this connection has really helped, and I think we have done a lot. We have. I remember when I got into FPSI and we were working on. I think our financial status was not. Those days it was great. A couple of lakhs was a great thing, but we have grown from there to the Golden Jubilee, and thanks to a overwhelming response from the sponsors, I think we have got a sufficient corpus now where we can, like many of us said, the focus should be on education. I think rightly so. And we are putting in a lot of effort in that direction. Dr. Singaparamal, Dr. B.V. Rao, which you all have mentioned. We have started this training and certification committee. I think there's a lot of focus in that, and a lot of activity is going on. And people are coming forward. Even in fact, industry is coming forward to say that we want FPSI certified professionals or trained people in hydraulics and pneumatics. It's a great thing. So I think we will be doing all that investment, and we are continuously now, like MSR said, we have moved from individual to the industry. So we are getting in the industry first, and so that we could support the individuals. I think we are meeting very frequently at a regular intervals, I would say. Networking with industry to see that how we can take this forward, the training and certification aspect of it. And the other point which I would like, apart from education, is I think fluid power in isolation we will not be able to do. We will not be able to scale up the way we would like to. I think it has come from industry leaders and across thought leaders also that we need to network. So I think we need to collaborate. So this is where, whether it is mechatronics, electronics, or defense, we need to collaborate with the defense because there's so much of things happening even in the defense space. So we were given this, and institutions like ICMA, IMTMA. In fact, we are very closely working. We are happy that CI recognizes us as a national body of repute, which is a great thing for FPSI. That a body, national body, international body, I would say, recognizes us. We are actually the sector partners for the Fluid Power Expo along with CI. And now CI is open. We don't have to lobby. Actually, the doors are open. We could actually connect with them and see that whatever requirements are from the government, we could route it through them. They are very, very open to see that they support FPSI. So I think with all this, FPSI is on good ground. And I would like to also mention, before I forget, apart from the visionary leaders and people who have committed full time or whatever it is, the involvement, some of our long serving staff members are here. I would like to acknowledge them. Mr. Jay Kumar and Subhadeep, and of course Rao is there now, Joseph couldn't make it, and Elizabeth. They've all been the backbone for the FPSI Secretariat. So I would like to really acknowledge your contribution to FPSI. I think FPSI would not have been what it is today without their support. So with this, I think I would like to close and thank you all once again for the patient listening, and have a good evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, just a moment. As we, I just forgot that. As we are celebrating it here in Bangalore, our chapters are celebrating the Golden Jubilee Day in their respective regions today. And I would like to even acknowledge the contribution of our chapters from Pune, Madras, and Coimbatore, and wish them all success. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, I think we're coming to the end of the speaking session. For the benefit of some people who don't know me, I'm Naresh, and I'm the longest serving secretary. And 22 years of, without a break, I've been on the council.
Wow.
That also counts for me. Thank you very much. Leaving apart. With that, we come to the end of the speaking session, and Dr. B.V. Rao, he wants to just speak for 2 minutes. After that, we have instrumental. Yeah, playing. We'll play after that. So we have our own, council member Anand, who will be actually playing the flute recital. Be informal because this nothing official.
Since I am the oldest person, I thought I should share some of my strategies. They say master of all and jack of all and master of none. It's a very important issue. Because I've changed my number of areas. All these people know. My own colleagues used to tell, by the time we catch this one, and Dr. Rao is already in another area. I don't know how it happened. I know I had ideas, but I used to change. The vibration, acoustics, tremolo, several things, which came up. Maintenance engineering, my thoughts at any university was unknown. I was the first to start the maintenance engineering course in IIT Madras. To see that, all that for entire maintenance engineering, the courses that are needed, etc. So sometimes, I feel I should have gone depth competence so that my name would have been much better known. But I was changing my areas. But my own colleagues, my own people who have been tried, so they were all much better in that area, depth competence. So there is a depth competence and even in the industry also is very important. Because it's not necessary, if you know only something and without idea of the other things, this will not work. Finally, after my 35, I served IIT Bombay 5 years, IIT Madras 30 years, VIT University 13 years, Gala University and MIT also. 55 years of full-time service. Nobody could have thought about it. At VIT and university, when I joined in 98, it was 150 staff and 1,650 students and 6 or 7 courses. When I left there was more than 12,000 students, more than 50 courses and 1,100 faculty. So that's how the thing. Because I was not only principal, I changed my professions. As Director International Relations, Pro-Chancellor, Researchers, everything I started like that. It all worked out. Today you can see the VIT University compares itself along with other IITs and other things, etc. I'm just telling you. Then I was telling, so wondering, not many people have been well known in many areas, trust areas, but I have not come up like that. but I've also come up. The UNESCO, the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, sponsored by UNESCO, considered me in 2017 Medal of Excellence in Engineering Education. I asked its president, how do you come that? There must be, it's a world competition. And I said, what made you to select me? Mr. Rao, you see like that. We have gone through your profile. You are associated with so many professional societies. As a founder member, Acoustical Society, Association for Missions Mechanism, Tribology Society, dozen societies are very much like that. We were in Fluid Power Society, which has honored me with the Pascal Award. So I still remember. But you said, because of your breadth competence, so many people have been trained in different areas. Whereas the depth competence makes you to have noble knowledge or anything like that, whatever it is, you know, only very small, but you have seen that your knowledge is spread to as many. The education thing, it may be applicable to an education institution, maybe an industry or a professional societies here. That's very, very important to me. 2017. Then, my own university where I took my PhD, to your Dresden, 50 years. They consider people who are working, whether they are contributing to the society, 50 years of contribution after my 61, 2011, I was given the Golden Doctorate. The Acoustical Society, Stanley Ehrlich Gold Medal from Acoustical Society of America, I received. So every areas which I tried to put it, I have done something considered like that. It's possible. So this is something. You want to be only knowledge only in one area or something like that. It is a very important thing even for industries. And particularly professional societies are not only industry oriented, but also education is very important. See, this is what I learned from this new society vibration, which is managed only by industry people. They said, we can call academic people and they will talk very, very big things. We won't understand those things. We want right from beginning youngsters, most of them are going, classes were conducted there, going, that they are taught the elementary things so that right from beginning that culture comes. And that's how the things can be magnified, etc. So this is a very important issue that I wanted to say. So many of the awards and other things also I received in my life, and that's more than sufficient. And thank you.
Thank you, sir. See, the advantage of being in the Golden Jubilee Council, as I would say, the latest council which has been there, that was the Golden Jubilee Council. So we had made a Golden Jubilee memento, which was presented to all the council members. So we missed out 3 people. So we would like to please, give those mementos to them. Mr. M. Sitapati Rao, he missed it out at that time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Isaac is wondering, where is mine? Please come forward. And Venkat, please come forward. Isaac Clark, one of the vice presidents.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Now I think Anand will take over.
As you're going to see, he's phenomenal at playing the flute. Enjoy yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity. There was too much of introduction, which sets the expectations high. Hopefully, I'll be able to come to that expectations. I'm going to play a few popular kritis. Hopefully, you'll be able to enjoy. If you get bored, please bear with me for half an hour. much. And I also thank Karthik, who was on the Zen pads. Thanks for the opportunity.
He's a member of the council, so he could play for us. But Karthik came along with him. Thank you very much.
ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀವಿ ತಗೊಂಡು
We will now have a small, video just reminiscing on certain old photographs what we had for the last 50 years. And once that's about 10 minutes, then we will have dinner will be open. So you can bring your dinner and then have it on tables here. And after that, we have karaoke. So anybody interested can come over and then sing. Actually, this video has been put together by our own Chandrasekhar Rao. Okay, now we'll just have some group photographs. We would like to have 3 separate photographs. One with the current council. I would like all the current council to come forward with their spouses. Please come forward. At least after 50 years, I think we need to give credit to the ladies who have been, bearing with us.